Good evening, good evening. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Free Thinkers. I am making sure that things are marked public in the spaces in which they need to be so that videos are live all over the place. But um, you can find the link to tonight's show on the Facebook Free Thinkers page. So if you are interested in getting involved in tonight's conversation, join us over on our Facebook group. This is the instructions every week. This does not change. So if you are not sure where to find the link, every Tuesday, the link changes and it is always pinned at the top of the Free Thinkers Facebook page. I also put the link to get into the live stream conversation on the posting about the Tuesday meeting. So I know a friend of mine had reached out last week and she couldn't find out how to log in. So those are the instructions every week. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you join our Facebook channel, you will always pretty much know this information because I post it quite a bit on Tuesdays. So of course, our YouTube channel is Free Thinkers Worldwide. It is in my bio. It is on my profile picture. I've got it tagged at the very bottom. So it's all over the place. But Free Thinkers Worldwide is our YouTube channel. You can access all of the StreamYard information from our Facebook group. So it is beneficial to join both places. I'm not just trying to push you over there just because. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Like, you really need to be on both places to be able to get all the information. But that's how you join the live conversation. If you are not interested in joining the live conversation and you just want to watch us, or you want to engage in the comment section, you can do the comment section on both the YouTube channel and on our Free Thinkers Facebook page, as well as my private page. I do have it streamed to my page as well. The comments, I do have them marked public, so the comments should show up here in our comment section so we can see what you guys are posting, and oftentimes we will put them on the screen so other people can engage in what you've said and offer feedback. So Free Thinkers group on Facebook, pinned post, got the StreamYard link, jump in here, let's have a conversation. Other than that, no real rules, I guess, realistically. Just be respectful, just be mindful of other people. This is a group for just that, Free Thinkers. We have open adult conversation, and it's just our perspectives, thoughts, feelings, opinions, experiences on whatever the topic is for Tuesday night. And we do this every Tuesday. Free Thinkers, we've been going now 5 years. So, join us. We appreciate the support. We can't grow without you. So certainly grateful for any support that you have given and continue to give. Mad shout out and always love to people who share our posts and share our videos and invite people to the page. Again, we love to do this, and conversation definitely rules a nation. So it's important to keep having open dialogue, which ironically is one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight, is free speech, being that the richest man in the world has bought one of the most powerful, whether you like Twitter or not, or you use Twitter or not, is actually really irrelevant. It is still one of the most popular social media platforms. And it's interesting how each social media platform has a different energy and vibe with it. You've got Facebook that kind of has its thing. You've got Instagram that kind of does its thing. You've got Twitter that obviously does their thing. You've got TikTok that does their thing. And then of course you've got a bunch of other smaller social media platforms, of course, and they've got their own vibe too. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and then we're going to talk about, just depending on how far we get with the Elon Musk conversation, we had an original thought to talk about what gets on your nerves. And it's not really meant to be like a gripe session, put pessimistic energy out there. sometimes I think it's just important to talk about the stuff that gets on our freaking nerves, to either one, see that we might be crazy, or two, we're not alone. It's a lot of people who might have some pet peeves, very similar to ours. And, it's just interesting dynamic is the stuff that gets on our nerves. So with that being said, we will start tonight's conversation. It's 8:10. You can join at any time. Of course, we like that you join at the beginning of the show so that you are with us and we can, have the conversation nice and fluid. But it is all good if that can't happen. You can join us late, or, you can tap out a little bit late if you need to as well. I mean, we will hopefully go, we'll at least go till 9:30. Hey, stranger, we'll at least go till 9:30. But maybe we'll be able to push it till 10 o'clock, if we get some good feedback in here. So,
okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun a little bit.
Okay.
One thing that get on my nerves.
Yeah, you already jumping the gun.
About my headphones.
When you get into a conversation, double dutch it. Double dutch, you find out the rhythm of what's going on, and once you catch the rhythm, then you jump in. So what I'm saying is, with conversations, just take a couple minutes, catch the flow of the conversation, what it's talking about, and then jump in. One of my minor pet peeves, and this is a pet peeve because I do a lot of shows, right?
Right.
Somebody will jump in, be on for like all of 5-10 seconds. Oh, what I missed? What was y'all talking about?
What y'all talking about? What?
Like, yo, just give it a couple minutes, catch the flow of what's going on.
Yes.
Once you get an idea of what we're talking about, then you jump in.
I agree.
How you gonna make me? Everybody gonna stop and recap just for you?
That's right. Like, I mean, and I always. And hell, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna switch up the direction of how this is gonna go. We'll do what gets on our nerves first. But I used to like I'm a late person. I'm always late, and I'm always late. I'm late to everything, and it's just I apologize in advance. I apologize when I get there. Like I'm just late. My time management is absolute trash, right? And so when we would meet on Tuesday nights, who's got the echo? Okay, so when we would meet on Tuesday nights, like it used to bother me when people would show up late. They would show up late. They'd be loud.
You mean when we would meet in person, it would bother you?
Yes, it would bother me because I'm like, how do you get into the conversation 20-30 minutes late? You showing up, hold on, I'm pushing up my stand. You showing up late, you got food, you're loud, like it is crazy. And like I said, it's crazy because I'm late. Like I'm oftentimes that person. But if I'm late, like I don't make a fucking spectacle of my entrance. Like I'm gonna slide in and mind my space and wait till it's my turn. So yeah.
So that's another side note. This is just in general for me. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were saying we'll get on your nerves. Go ahead first.
If you do join late, like just peep the conversation and voila, because it's not hard to figure out what we're talking about when we're all talking. It's not challenging.
Give it a couple minutes.
Right.
So another thing that gets on my nerves, and this is from a church perspective, and this could apply to church meetings, functions, stuff like that. If you come late, if you're a person who comes late or you leave early, stay your butt in the back. Stay in the back. Right. Don't come late and then walk up to the front. Or you gotta leave early and then you getting up, excuse me, and then you like say, I see y'all later. I see. Just stay in the back.
Right.
Ease your way out without making a scene. I don't like people who make entrance scenes when they make entrances and exits. That's another thing get on my nerve about.
That's annoying. That's annoying.
I hate repeating myself. Like you guys were talking about people being late. I hate repeating myself, especially if I'm given like clear, concise directions or instruction. I see it even, I get irritated even if I'm not the person that is
being bothered by it.
Like,
right.
So, like if I'm in a class and the teacher has gave instructions and somebody asks like, what did you say? And I'm like, pay attention. Like that irritates me, even though they're not directing the question like to me. So that that irritates me. Another thing irritates me is anything with traffic. I think is always going to make my blood boil.
Ooh, I've gotten bad with traffic.
Foreigners in the left lane. That is the passing lane. I don't know why this is like, I don't know if it's, you know what I'm saying, culturally, the people just don't get it, or young people are not being taught how to merge, what lane is for passing. They'll just sit in the lane and be slow. I don't even care if you're doing a speed limit. If it's 65 and you're doing 65 or 70, but you see cars rushing up behind you, move. I've done it. I thought I was a speed demon and somebody came behind me before. And I got out the way. I'm like, it's no big deal. But these people take it as a personal vendetta.
Wasn't that driver's ed 101? Move over. Like, if you're blocking the flow of traffic, move over. And I think you said it right here. Like, a lot of folks are not probably doing driver's ed courses. Like, they're aging out and they're getting their driver's license, or, you know, didn't give a shit and never got a driver's license anyways, because you don't have to have a license to have a car. You just have to have a car and some keys and some gas. You know, and
during
so
COVID, they suspended like the driver's ed test in Georgia. So
But the thing on my list is kind of bleeds into what you just said. Like, in my mind, I think that's common sense. I think it's common sense. If I'm hogging the lane and there's clearly people on my ass, or there's clearly people going around and definitely cutting me off, no blinkers being used, like, to me, common sense would say, get your slow ass over. Like, oh, you weren't paying attention and you got this line of traffic behind you, these cars behind you, move over. Like, there's 2 more lanes, or there's at least 1 more lane to get into. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves. What gets on my nerves is people who are inconsiderate, people who have no manners, people who are just rude for no fucking reason, because you realize like how difficult ill-mannered, inconsiderate people, like how they contribute to like the ails of society, in my opinion, you know, by being an inconsiderate and poor mannered person.
Nikki, I'll piggyback on that. I hate people that that lack accountability.
Oh, that's on my list too.
Yeah, I was reading a book.
That's on my list too.
I'm reading a book about the power of 10, and I'm almost finished with it because I haven't had that much time to really delve in it like I should have. But it says how high earning people, which I find it hard to believe, but they say they are more accountable because they want to change and adjust and adapt to be able to grow and flourish. In order for you to change, like say if you're Bill Gates and this plan is not working out, you got to hold yourself accountable to be able to even change directions to continue to flourish. So they said high wage earners are more accountable. I don't know if that's true, but I know that I have been really keen on accountability, and I see a lot of people that don't want to hold themselves accountable and always blaming other people. It's like we need to stop blaming other people and start looking in the mirror at ourselves and seeing how we contribute to the problems.
I mean, again, to me, that's like the bane of society's problems is not having manners, not being considerate of other people, and being considerate. I feel like means that you don't have a problem being selfless either. Like if you're being a considerate person, I don't have a problem being nice to you. I don't have a problem being courteous to you. I don't have a problem holding the door. I don't have a problem, you know, picking up something that you dropped. I don't have, you know, like, so there's a selfless part of you. And then so the flip side to that is people who are not, who are selfish, who are, you know, who don't take accountability, who don't take responsibility, who aren't willing to point the finger at themselves, who aren't willing to, you know, hold themselves accountable to certain things. And they then, because they either one, feel bad, or two, are just in complete fucking denial, they then like cast that onto other people. And it's usually your kids first, it's your partner if you have one, you know, the loved ones, the people around you get the brunt for you feeling guilty about your shit. But you won't acknowledge it, you won't identify it, so that means you damn sure can't change it. And everybody else just has to suffer for your immaturity. So yeah, that I absolutely, that's a really challenging thing for me to deal with, people who are selfish and inconsiderate, like people who just like turn
That's
their nose
everybody
up.
though, right? Who's okay with people like that?
The people that do it.
I mean, it's some people
Exactly,
that
but I'm
have
saying
to
other
deal with
people.
it.
But it's a lot of them.
Nobody else. Just, I mean, I think everybody's kind of turned off by that.
But some people co-sign on it. Some people enable the behavior. Some people, participate in, maybe sometimes. So like sometimes they'll make fun of other people, or sometimes they'll, talk about what a woman has on or what her size is, or sometimes they'll poke fun at a man, or sometimes they'll be like, oh, he's picking up trash on the side of the road, or oh, she, you know what I'm saying? Like those people contribute to the problem. Like,
and I think parents are a big contributor of why these kids are disrespectful, and a lot of these things we see surfacing amongst the children. On a belt line is really popular down here. A lot of people go to bike and roller skate and walk down there, and a couple of kids snatched a phone, and people were trying to hold them accountable. And they were coming up to a woman that was recording, a black woman that was recording. They were trying to tell her to stop recording and try to grab her phone. And she said, I know you ain't trying to grab my phone or whatever. And so her husband tried to come intervene. And the little boy, you guys, I'm telling you, they were probably like 15 years old, pulls out a gun on him.
oh, wow.
And I'm like, where is the parents? Because you got to know where your kid's at. You got to know what your kids are doing and what involved. And I feel like even in Decatur, I don't know if you heard about this, Quentin, they had a lot of gunfire. A lot of people got shot, and one person died this weekend.
Like last weekend, Matt was saying it was crazy.
In Decatur.
I didn't hear about this.
Okay, so here's what I heard the story was. The gentleman was barbecuing with his kids. I mean, his kids were like 18 and 20. And a couple of boys down kind of a little bit away were smoking weed, and they could smell it. So the father asked the young men to, be mindful.
Right.
I don't even know if it was necessarily put out, but be mindful. My children is here and stuff like that.
Right.
They killed him. They killed him and shot his daughter and shot the son. Like,
What the fuck?
Where as parents are we going wrong? So I feel like I hold parents with a lot of accountability for what these kids are doing. I know you can't. There's some kids going to do regardless, but I feel like there's some level of respect that you have to teach your kids when navigating this world. And I feel like that has been gone because we grew up in the era where everybody could parent you. Right. Nowadays,
you can't say
nothing. Tell my son, how dare you tell my daughter, pull your pants up. Or something like that.
Right. I think there's a lot of reasons.
At this point, why are you doing it though? Why are you even doing it?
What you talking about?
It's one of those things to where things in life are effed up, but once you know they effed up, once you know the rules and how the game is being played, then you have to adjust accordingly. And this sounds super terrible because it sounds like I'm taking up for a shooter, which I'm not. I'm saying you take care of yourself first. Right. If you know people stupid, especially if I don't have no relationship with these people, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation. True. I had to do that often growing up in Decatur. I'd be at Lincoln Park. That's why I balled at all day, every day, 24/7. But then, once every 2 weeks, probably once a month, see a whole lot of gangsters there who really don't know how to play basketball. I'm like, oh shoot, they about to have
that's
one of
my
cue.
Meetings.
They about to have a meeting. And then once the big is like, all right, it ain't, excuse me, sir, I was playing ball over here.
Right.
They make their circle in the middle of the court. I gotta go. I'm gone.
That's true.
All right, that's it.
Did you guys see that King Richard movie with where they showed how Serena dad? Oh my God! If you have not watched King Richard, watch it. They showed how he had to interact with the gang members at the tennis court and how disrespectful they were. Talking about his
hype
daughters.
Myself up to watch it now because Will got me so turned off. I didn't even want to watch it, but let me.
No, it's still a good movie, Quentin.
I know. I gotta get it in my mind.
It's a good movie, guys.
I'm gonna check it out.
No, I need to check it out. But so even in that situation, I mean, yeah, of course we do have to figure out like by default, like how we can get out of situations like that. But isn't it pretty sad though that like you can't say something to somebody, you know, and it doesn't mean that you have to fly off the handle when you ask somebody to do something. But the fact that this man was like, man, can y'all put that out? What if it was, you know, what if it was just cigarettes? Like I mean,
don't ask nobody to put out.
I know, and I wouldn't. I know, and I wouldn't.
My barbecue further on down the street.
I mean, and I feel like that's just sometimes the shit that you have to deal with when you are out in public spaces. You have no control over anything but yourself. But to be shot for that, to be killed for that.
Was this at a park or was it in front of the?
This is at the Roosevelt Apartments. You know, they
right.
Changed the Roosevelt school.
So this was actually in front of the house to some degree.
The gentleman was in front of barbecuing at his house.
That's different. Yeah, if you're in front of your house, then you do have a right to speak on how you want the atmosphere around your house. And if that stuff is intrusive, that's not out of bounds.
Even if you don't, it shouldn't be worth shooting.
Right.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but no, I get that. You know, and if I had smaller kids, then that's just one of those unfortunate things. But what I would say is, I don't. You know what? That sounds a little off. That sounds off to me. And what I don't like, this is what I don't like.
Approach was, you know what I'm
saying? Exactly. People always try to make it so simple, like, somebody cutting line in front of and Popeye's trying to get his chicken sandwich and they shot him. It's usually more complicated than that. That could have been the basis of but there was a lot of disrespect and there was some other things that went on that escalated something up. Usually, in most cases, it ain't. Excuse me, sir. I'm just wondering if you ask him because you know, it was usually some type of disrespect. Nothing should lead to shooting,
right?
But I'm saying it's not as simple. Excuse me, guys. Do you think it's okay if what you say and then that's usually not that's usually not
right?
But and another thing that probably piggybacks on all of this is, you know, what irks me is poor communicators.
Yes.
Ooh, that will unnerve me because I'm so keen on trying to listen, understand, grasp fully, ask questions, and somebody that can't articulate themselves or speak well themselves often is flustered or frustrated and take that as a cue for them to attack. And it's like, yo, I'm just trying to get clarity here. Why is we going to a whole nother level? So I cannot take poor communicators.
And there's nothing wrong with needing clarity. Like I literally use that word probably once or twice a week at minimum. Like I'm asking for clarity because I don't understand. And that's a lot of the part of some of our problems growing up and in relationships until we fucking figure this out. Like it is okay to ask for clarity. It is okay. You know, we don't just have to agree to stuff because we're just supposed to agree to stuff or not agree to stuff because we're not supposed to agree to stuff. Like if we don't understand something, it's okay to ask for clarity. But too many times people have been taught to not ask questions, to shut their mouth, to not ruffle feathers, you know. So kudos to people who do ask questions and kudos to people who make it a safe space for people to ask questions. Because some people you just like, you know, there's no point in trying to get clarity because like you said, their comprehension level, and maybe it isn't even a comprehension level. They just don't think like that. It's kind of like that my way or no way kind of behavior where you can't even ask this person for clarity or ask questions or get understanding about something that they were talking about. Like, and there's a meme that I'm sure you've all seen, and it says something like, you know, something to the effect of not trying to get people who are committed to misunderstanding you to understand you.
Oh,
and those people
stay off the internet then.
Right. Those people, but in our personal world, those people exist. Some of us have unfortunately had to deal with that as a parent or as a significant other, you know, a sibling, and that's challenging. Yeah, because I'm committed to not understanding anything that you try to talk about. That makes That makes things so difficult in any relationship dynamic.
I think that's social. Trish, tell us one of yours. What's one of your
Pet
things that get
peeves.
on your nerves? Yes.
Okay, so this first thing that come to my mind. Well, the hypocrites, like people who condemn you for doing something that they do themselves, that drives me nuts. But no, the one that come to my mind was like I was dating this guy for, I don't know, it was just like a year or so, and we were 30, 31, 32, something like that. And he would get on my nerves. He would do things, whether it be behaviors or words or whatever, that would be reflecting on his unhealthy childhood upbringing. Like he, would just, I'm like, dude, just get over it. You're 30 fucking years old, and you moved out when you were 18. Like, move on.
So like he would always blame shit on how he grew up. Like everything was always that. So it's like the blaming others thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let's go out to eat, and he's like eating his meal in 2 bites, like really just not appropriate. And he's like blaming it on like not getting enough food when he was young, and I'm like, oh my God.
I just think you didn't like him anyway, regardless.
He had some
he was good and bad, and that was about it. That was it.
At that point, everything he did was gonna get on your nerves because you didn't like him.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I hate when people are just negative, like heavy negative. I understand. Yeah, you find negativity in anything. God, dog. Like, what are you happy about?
Right.
Please.
Right. That's a heavy energy to like even be around. Like I've learned as I've gotten older, I cannot be around something like that. Like it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about, I know this is so mundane, right? But like it grates my nerves. I don't know why, but like it bothers me so much when people on social media will like retype something that's already been posted.
Oh, repost? They don't even repost it. They don't even repost it. They just retype it.
They retype it like they came up with the thought themselves.
Like that's some shit that they done wrote. Like I've seen 4 people post that this week. Come on now.
Yo, we got somebody that from our hometown that does that religiously.
I have a few people on my timeline who do. It's just
I don't know. You had to tell. You got to send me a message. Hey, message me right now. Tell me who it is, and then
it's got so bad. People called him out like, "Yo, dude."
DM me. Send me in the DM. DM me who it is.
They'll keep doing it, and they'll acknowledge they're doing it. And to me, I'm like, were you fake in school? Like you must have plagiarized shit in school. Like it's just weird to me. Like I can't imagine ever passing off something as my own when it ain't my own, and you can easily find that it's not mine. Like when 17 other people post the same thing, like there's no way. Like I don't know. That's just I wonder what those people's operating system looks like when they're like, I'm just gonna retype this whole thing and I'm gonna share it like it's brand new and it's mine. And it's like, no, it's not. It's so weird to me.
So
yeah, maybe so.
Peeves, I have a pet peeve of people who cuss and they listen to cussing music around improper company.
Right.
Peeve of mine.
Oh yeah.
Right. You at the park, it's kids around, it's elderly people, blasting this nasty ratchet music.
Yeah.
Like I cuss just as much as anybody, and I listen to the same thing everybody else listens
to.
But I do it in selective circles. I don't do it around my children.
Right.
I don't listen to certain things in front of my children.
Right.
And not just my children. If I'm at the park, because I'll go to the park and I'll have my speaker on. And if I see there's mixed company around where there's children or elderly people and stuff like that, I'm mindful of the type of music that I'm playing, and I'm mindful of what comes out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. People who are not mindful of that, that's a pet peeve to me. Like
I think they're low tolerant, low energy, low vibing people, because you're right about that, Quinn. I play music in my store all the time. On my way to the store, I'm playing 5 Foreign. But when I'm in the store, it's Frankie Beverly and Mays. It's something
Right.
more of R&B flow. Because you know what? My thing is, even though that's not what I like, doesn't mean everybody else like it. So
Right.
just play something
Right.
kind of, you know,
Neutral.
where everybody can, you know, groove to, and it works. Like, it's not a
Right.
big deal.
Right.
I don't know. I don't get why people, like, even like if I've dropped my mom off, yeah, I listen to some ratchet stuff, but I am mindful of my mother. I respect
Right.
my mother,
Right.
and
Right.
I turn it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, being somebody who's always had a colorful vocabulary and listens to equally colorful music my whole life, I've always had a trash mouth, but I too am very selective about who, when it comes to children, absolutely not. Do my kids hear me cuss? Absolutely. But at the same time, those are my kids and they understand my language. Am I cussing all of the time in front of my kids? No, definitely not. But I will absolutely use, foul language, if I am. Now, am I going to cuss out somebody else's kids? No. Am I going to cuss out, am I going to cuss like in places where, like you said, it's not appropriate? No, because I'm just not. That's just rude to me. That's inconsiderate to me. I don't want to expose another kid to, that type of language. Music, same thing. There's a lot of my music my children will probably not hear until they're 18 years old or whenever, or if ever, who knows what they're going to listen to. But I'm not going to play that music around my kids. Like, it's like when my kids were growing up, I had issues with people who, like, showed their kids movies that had a lot of sex scenes in it. Like, that bothers me a lot. Like, I'm so uncomfortable about, like, my children when they were smaller kids, like, seeing sex scenes. And I don't want to be the whole, oh, cover your face all the time. But that was like my one deal breaker with movies is them seeing that. Like, I don't know, that bothers me. And so it bothers me that other people do that with their kids. It makes me feel like, what else will you allow them to be exposed to if you expose them to this?
Speaking of sexual, I just want to
Okay.
say, it is such a turnoff when men straight out the front gate is speaking sexual or talking sexual.
Mm.
It's like, yo, like,
yes.
Is
Yeah.
that all you? To me, that makes me feel that's all you have to offer. You have
And that's
nothing
all you
of
get looked at
intelligence.
as.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's like,
Yep.
that's a major turnoff for me.
Yep.
Am I sexual? Yes, I'm a very sexual being. That don't mean I need to be like, hey, your breast is nice, I want to rub on those, stuff like that. It's just like, what?
Of all the things you could choose to say, this is what you come up with.
Okay, let me tell you one of my pet peeves. We kind of in the ballpark on the flip side. When I'm at a bar or a club or something like that, I don't like when women ask me to buy them a drink.
Yeah, that's so rude.
Yeah, that's tacky.
It's very tacky.
That's so tacky.
And desperate to me. Like,
no, right. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you no in a second. I'm like, because I like to just chill, relax, have a good time, enjoy my day. If we having a good time, a conversation, that's not what you drinking. All right, 2 or whatever she got then.
Right. That's different.
You reaching out and asking me to get I ain't
you
getting
buy me a drink.
It's insulting to me also. It's like, hold on, I'm not in that no sugar daddy status.
Right.
You looking at me like I'm that old, or like I'm a sugar daddy, or I'm a simp. Like I want something from you. I'm just chilling. Don't be over here trying to. So I don't.
And that already tells me that
reading too far into it.
That tells me
but this is what they do also, because a lot of women who try to angle men, they try to guilt your ego. Like, oh, what, you ain't got it? Like, oh, you can't afford a drink?
Oh, that's disgusting.
I'm like, oh.
I've seen that clip.
You're not gonna bait me into that.
Right. I see that all day.
You're not gonna bait me into that. I'm like, why am I trying to prove something to you?
Oh God.
I did that one time. Now, and this is I stopped doing this too, but I can be petty. Like when some girl said that, oh, what? I thought y'all was ballers, this and this. You can't buy no drink. I'm like,
no, I don't want to buy a drink for you.
I bought me a drink. I bought my homeboy. I bought both of her homegirls a drink, and I ain't get her nothing. I'm like, man, don't try. Now I ain't even, because in all honesty, I shouldn't have did that, because that's like me trying to prove something. But that's when I feel like being petty. I'm like, I ain't got to prove
that's
nothing.
petty, but it's good petty.
It was
Sometimes
petty, but it like even that is beneath me, because I don't even have to prove that. I don't even have to address your accusations.
Yeah, that's just childish. That's a hella childish woman. Y'all supposed to be balling. You ain't got no money. You supposed to be a bag chaser, broad. Where your money at? Where your coins at? You know what I mean? Like, why are you coming over here hawking me for a drink? Where's your money at? You supposed to be, I don't need no man ass. Get your own damn drink.
And I'm not even see, but you know that's what I be thinking in my head. But to have that conversation is even tacky to me. Like, you're not even gonna get me to go down the rabbit hole to have that. Like, do you know people who got money? They don't sit there and talk about their money. What I look like talking about or trying to show what I got or showing you a bank statement. I don't have to do nothing but just sit here and drink my drink and enjoy my evening. That's all I need to do.
Do overly flashy people, like in the same setting that you gave, the bar setting, the club setting, the obvious, possible hooking up with other people type of setting, right? Like the looking setting. Do people who are super flashy with their money bother you?
Nope. Because it's their money, number one. And then number two, I understand we have different agendas.
True.
They might be trying to take something home by then. I'm just enjoying my drinks and I'm going back home to my family. I don't have any extra agenda. Right. But as a salesman, and I know, hey, he might be trying to take one or two or a few of them home. So he's using his sales tactics the best way he know how. Right. And it works to some degree. So I'm like, I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, and like you said, it works, right? It works for somebody. It ain't got to work for everybody. But
it depends on why you're there. So people are in social settings for different reasons.
True.
So I get it. I ain't tripping.
True.
Okay. I got anybody. I got another one. Anybody else got another one?
I was thinking along the line of Tiara's the men just straight out the gate being super sexual in conversation. But I also I'm very Southern. I'm very old mama. Like, I'm very, very friendly, and I'm very I call everybody a love and a boo and a baby and I love people that I like, right? But I absolutely cannot stand men who within 5 seconds of meeting you're like, oh yeah, baby, 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 baby. Okay, boo. Okay, boo. Do not baby me.
I hate that.
Do not. Okay, baby. Yeah. Okay, baby. How you doing?
I'm gonna tell somebody. My name is Tiara. Do not call me. I don't know you.
I don't know you.
Your name's Shouty.
You don't even know me enough to call me your baby.
How many times you get called Shouty? Yeah.
Well, never, because I'm tall, but
no, I'm saying in Georgia, they call everybody Shouty.
I know. No.
I don't even look. I don't even, when they do that, I don't even turn the fuck around. Like, people sometimes, hey.
No, don't do that either.
So hold on. I got one on Facebook. Edwards, that grabbed my attention. He said, when you're just friends, and the lady always call you friend, more than calling you by your own name, and then had the nerves be at Applebee's, be like, you got me.
Hey, friend.
She's a swindler. She's the Tinder swindler.
The Tinder swindler.
We friends, but then you be like, then you want me to step in and be a boo thing when it's convenient for you. No,
yeah, that's a begging ass chick. That bothers me. A begging ass chick.
And that mean they trying to game you too. They really trying to get. So in one sense, they keep calling you friend for two reasons. Number one, they trying to keep you at bay. They want to keep you at the proper distance to keep you from trying to move in too close, because they don't want you like that. That's number one. So they trying to keep you at bay, keep you at arm's reach. And then number two, then they don't want to mess up their own game for anybody who they may be interested in that's approaching them. Oh, hey, this is my friend. This is my friend. Don't get it twisted. We're not together. This is just my friend. They don't say that, but that's really what they're saying. So you do all this friend stuff, friend zone, keep 6 feet. That's the first 6 feet social distancing, was women putting men in the friend zone. Oh, this is just my friend. That's my friend. And that's cool, but then don't turn around. I'm with Edward. Don't turn around and be like, oh, you got me.
I agree. I
got
agree
me,
100%.
You got me, boo. And then they turn around and say boo or give you some little pet name when they're trying to get something from you.
That's that manipulation right there. I hate that.
You got me, sweetie. You got me. No, I don't got you.
I hate that.
We're friends.
I do. We just friends.
That's a whole nother conversation I need to have about men, because for the men who fall for that, you're to blame. But anyway,
true. What was your other one? You were going to mention one.
People trying to talk to me while I'm on the toilet.
Okay. Sounds like the kids.
That's anybody. Don't talk to me. If you see me on the other side of that door of the restroom, hey, you know something? Hey,
leave me alone.
Wait till I get out. Don't talk to me while I'm on the toilet. I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
I think it's rude just in general. Like if somebody's in the middle of a conversation for you to cut them off. Like say me and Quentin is talking and here comes Nikki. Hey.
Yes.
Excuse me, we're talking. Like that's proper manners that I think a lot of people lack. They just cut you off. It's like you don't even say excuse me. Hey.
I don't even understand that coming from an adult. I don't allow that shit from my children or any children I'm in the company of. It blows my mind when an adult does. And I know sometimes in here we are all guilty of that. Me and for sure guilty of like jumping the gun and I'm like, oh wait, shut up, it's not your turn. But like in a non debate conversation, like why are you jumping in as an adult? Like wait your fucking turn. Did nobody tell you to not interrupt as a child? Like that it's so weird to me when grown-ups do that.
Like that, Nikki, in situations like that, when somebody does that, I will turn directly to them and give them my undivided attention.
All of it.
Because I see you ain't got no home training, so I don't even act like I'm halfway. I turn around directly to you. I'm sorry, what you need? Yes, sir. And what else? Is there anything else? Oh, okay. You sure? You good? Okay. I'm gonna give you all of my attention since you ain't got no home training. Give you all of it. Make sure you got all of it, and then I'll go back and give the person I was talking to my attention to get back to my program. But that's rude. I don't like that at all.
It's rude, and it's rude that if someone speaks to you, I know it's not mandatory, but a simple just if I say hello, hey, keep moving. Somebody say hello, and you keep walking or so. Like I just. What? Okay, maybe you didn't hear me, but it's some people like a couple of older women, Black women. I'll hold the door.
I was just about to say,
I will. They won't say thank you. So guess what I do? You're welcome.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? I didn't hold the door for you and everything. Like that's the least you can give me, man.
I mean, how hard is it to say thank you? Like, that goes back to manners. Like, I get super peeved when people do that to my kids. My boys will hold the door open for everybody. I don't touch doors. My boys know you open the door for everybody, and you let a good couple people through if that's what we need to do. You eventually come through, and all is good. So when fucking adults do not say thank you to my children who are behaving better than some adults do, and they don't say nothing. Oh, I've let them know they some shitty adults. And my boys are like, oh, stop it, mama, stop it. And I'm like, no, you have to correct some people sometimes. And I guess it's unfortunate goes back to the conversation we just had.
You don't have to
correct them. But in some of those situations I do, because I want my children to grow up seeing, do not be these type of adults. Don't be this way when you get older. Like, no, they suck. But
they do, but they didn't do anything to you. All they did was I had this conversation with a young man right before we got on. I was playing basketball. I'm a master of street ball, but like mentally, I like getting in people's head. So I was talking major trash to him. He was a youngster. He didn't know no better. I was getting all in his head and he was in his feelings. But as soon as the game was over, like I'm talking trash because I'm tired and I can't keep up with these people. So I talk trash to get in their head. So slow them down, confuse them, whatever. But the moment the game is over, trash talk done. Good game, way to play, good stuff, all that, this and that. And then the boy, no, you keep that same energy. You ain't want me on your team. And I'm like, yo, game over. game over.
Right.
Learn how to, no,
Right.
I say, look, you can be in your feelings if you want to. That's cool. But once the game, number one, I said, when the game over, then you drop it. Number two, when a real man reaches his hand out to shake your hand, and you shake that man's hand. And it's just like little stuff. I'm like, you don't,
That's good sportsmanship.
Right.
But I'm sure
Right.
I still, because and I found he was a youngster too. He was only like 18, 19. He don't even know how to do certain stuff. But I'm like, but just basic stuff. So, and one thing that even I learned this at a church Ivy Hilliard in Houston. They had a church convention, and they was actually doing a class for like ushers and greeters and stuff like this. But they said something that always stuck with me. If you make eye contact, then speak.
Yeah.
Right.
That's simple. You make eye contact, you speak.
Right.
And that keeps all of that. See, because not only that, how bad does it look? You make eye contact and then you look away and don't speak. Now it really look like you done rolled your eyes or you done looked them off or something like that. If you make eye contact, speak.
Right.
I don't know where we got.
I give them a grin or a smile,
a head nod. Just acknowledge the person. Like, that's all you got to do.
Exactly. Give
Flip it.
acknowledgement. But I don't know where it came. I don't know if it's our community thing to where we think saying thank you or please or apologizing or saying you wrong is a sign of weakness. I don't know where that came from. And it's the bad thing is we're so much quicker to do it amongst each other. We have a lot of people have more of an issue showing appreciation or respect to their own kind versus if Nikki had opened the door instead of you, Tierra, then they might have said thank you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. True.
I don't know where that comes from.
We apologize and say thank you and excuse me to the as Black people more to white people than we do our own race. I have witnessed that, and I'm like, why is that? Why do we not hold ourselves to the same type of caliber that we see others? And I just, it's disturbing to say the least.
Oh, and to make my point, what I was saying, the whole thing, I skipped what I was saying about the boy I was playing. I told him, I said, you not shaking my hand. I said, that says more about you than it says about me.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make me look bad. That make you look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And since I knew he was a youngster, I'm trying to school him a little bit. But I'm
right.
like, so my whole point is, them not acknowledging you or saying thank you or whatever it is, that don't make me that make you look bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It don't make me no lesser because you wouldn't shake my hand or you didn't say thank you when I opened the door. That's a bad look on you.
And that's why our coaches in sports made us shake hands after we got done with the game. We lined up and we would go and shake the other team's hand. That's why parents, when you had siblings and you argue, you can't go play out with your friends. You have to work it out between your siblings before you can go outside and play with your friends. That used to be that tortured us because we was like, man, I want to go play with my friends. So it's like, if you can't get along with your brother or sister, then you can't.
You don't need to play with nobody.
Nobody.
Right.
They were serious about that.
Right.
So
right.
I see those little things that parents did as we were kids to instill those important things that we need to have as adults. And I'm thinking a lot of kids are not receiving that same. Well, we know.
Right.
Kids are not receiving that same type of structure and instruction to help them navigate, a world that's greater than them. Because I think a lot of people be caught up in their bubble and their reality is not what the reality of the world is.
That almost needs to be a whole conversation in itself. It's just what's missing, like what happened, because there's only a generation between us and and our kids. Like what happened? I feel as though most of my friends who are my age, around my age, have certainly instilled some similar values into our children, and those have been our core requirements. So what happened? Where did it go wrong that's not being instilled into children anymore? Like, this was actually something that was on my list. Like, kids that don't speak walking into a room. That's a pet peeve of mine. Now, I don't feel like it's a control issue because that could be challenged with, you just have control issues. No, I think it's rude. I think it's rude for adults too. But I still think that it's rude when it comes to children walking into a room and you don't say, you don't speak. You just barge in and you help yourself. Like, nah, say what's up to the room. that's an issue for me. I don't have an issue like the no man with saying, you know, ma'am or whatever, but like I have a huge pet peeve with children who say yeah and what. Like, oh, like, and every once in a while I'll catch my voice saying what. It's my default, but like, what? Huh? Like, I have a problem with that.
That's a lot of a South thing too.
Like that. Don't talk to me like that.
That's more. It's more conscious in the South.
Whenever I was working in
school. What'd you say, Trish?
Can you hear us, Trish?
My internet. No, when I was working in schools.
You're good.
Okay, no, there were kids that would do that what? And so I would have to say, okay, let's start over again and just redo it, you know, until they say it appropriately. And they hated it. They hated it with a passion. So I think it stuck pretty good.
But you know, even when I deal with kids, I don't have as much of an issue. I don't think I've had much of an issue. It's people don't realize how reciprocal things are in life. If you are pleasant and respectful, in most cases, you're going to get pleasantry and respect back. Now this, you know, if you just run into somebody at the gas station and you don't have time to build a rapport, I get that. But in most cases, like even with kids, I used to work at a, I forgot what it's kind of almost like an orphanage, but I forgot what they call them, but it's for older teenagers and stuff like that.
Like a group home?
Yeah. I used to work for a group home, and the people, the owners there, these kids are so bad, and I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know these African.
Oh my
people.
God!
They didn't say it in front of them, but they would just, I just can't, you know. Okay. But they still would have, you still have that demeanor, even though you don't say it when you're around them. You still carry the same energy, and I never had a problem with them when I spoke to them. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm going to extend to you the same respect that I expect myself.
Right.
So it was easy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I got you, Q. Yes, sir. No problem.
Right.
Because that's what I did to them. Yes,
right.
Yes, sir. No, sir. You got a question? Yes, sir. How can I help? And it's a reciprocal. So that's what I'm saying. Everything in relationships and business and all, pleasant, just the way you treat people is reciprocal. And as if we're talking about your higher self, for those who look to tap into their higher self, you be the one who initiates that reciprocation.
Right.
For you to wait for somebody else to do it before you do it, then that speaks poorly of yourself. If you are God on this earth, then you create your atmosphere. I create my atmosphere. It's pleasant around me all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's the energy that I give.
Right.
Yeah.
True. And then on some other type stuff, then it was negative around me all the time.
Right.
That was the energy I gave.
And a lot of these kids grow up on no fault of their own, never knowing how to properly engage and appropriate behavior because their parents didn't show them those things. And you're right, Nikki. I think of my mother. She grew up, you know, she born 57. You know, pretty much grew up in the 60s and 70s and how different it was then as compared to me being born in 80s and growing up in the 90s. And now my son in the social media world where you don't have to you can be a faceless person and say whatever the hell you want and not have to be confronted. Like Mike Tyson had to confront that gentleman because he was nagging him. And I don't believe in violence, but again, proper decorum.
Everybody saw that coming. Like, really? Like literally, you asking for it.
And maybe he was. Maybe he was gonna try to sue him or some shit. I don't know.
He was. You felt that entitled, or you that? Yeah, but I still think you asking for it too. He wanted to be famous. He wanted his 15 minutes, and he got it. Because then, even after he got them marks on him, he over there looking. He looking at the guy got the camera.
He's looking at his boy like, "Did you get it? Did you get it?"
Oh yeah, we about to get paid. He saw. He knew that.
Yeah,
he did that on purpose.
Do y'all think Mike was worried about that afterwards?
He was what about it?
Do you think he was worried about that afterwards, Mike? You think so? You think he was worried?
Because you know he have a criminal record.
Right.
I don't know if it's expunged or not, and so
you still got that felony on you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That could put him at risk. Right. And he's been really going under the radar. You know, he's been flying kind of straight and narrow. And so for him to be agitated to that degree. I think it's concerning for one, his own personal journey, but also
and he cool and he got his podcast doing. He might get some Joe Rogan type money soon. Like he trying to build this thing.
Yeah,
and it
so,
take one person to pull you back. Yep. I don't think it did. So what happened is the only thing, because I don't think he's going to get scrutinized in the court of public opinion, because everybody in the public was like, dude was asking.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But that don't change the law. So if he take you to court and sue you, then public opinion ain't gonna have much to do with that. They still can get them.
Right. That's sad. So it's like you can't even defend yourself.
Right.
People that, you know, poke at you. You know, but you can stand your ground and shoot somebody.
And be all questionable, whether that's even legally allowed because they were on your sidewalk and not your yard. But like somehow, you know, they may or they may not let that go. It kind of makes me think of, damn, I just lost my train of thought. I was when you said something about you can't even defend yourself, man. I don't remember where the hell I was going with this, so maybe I'll come back to it.
I'll come back to you in a second, but let me say this: this is just in the atmosphere as well. When you see stuff like that, just think about it. Have compassion when you see a lot of these public figures and entertainers when they in public and they acting like assholes. That's some of the stuff that they have to deal with when you don't see it. And it's like it's almost like a woman who be rude to a man. It's like if you see the way that some of these dudes act, even if she try to be cordial, and the way that some of these dudes act and take it too far, it's like, I gotta be standoffish toward you, because if I act like a regular person, then I ain't no telling who gonna take it too far and then start irritating me and bugging me and nagging me and pushing up on me and doing all this other stuff. It's like you don't deal with the stuff they deal with. That's funny, like, and that's why even when women, sometimes, like when I'm out, I'm just talking. I ain't trying to holler at nobody. I'm just, how you doing? You enjoying yourself? I don't take it personal. That could be her experience. Every dude she meet might be trying to get something from her. Right. So now it's curved her from knowing how to just have regular conversations with men.
Yeah.
Because like 90% of the men she meet trying to do her or something like that. So it's like you got just be mindful of where a person come from and what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis when you're not around, and the type of idiots they have to deal with. That's a prime example. So if you see a Mike Tyson or Star and they was, no, I ain't doing no, they know what it could turn into. You might not be the jerk, but the next person be like, oh, you just gave him an autograph, I can't get a picture with you. All F you then, you ain't shit. This, and then it turned. So then they just like, no, just everybody stay away from it.
Yeah. You just jogged my memory. I think about that when like with paparazzi. So not being able to defend yourself, having paparazzi just constantly in your personal space. Just because somebody chooses to be a celebrity figure does not give another human being permission to shove a camera in your fucking face, in your children's face, follow you 24/7. Like, and so every once in a while, you know, we'll see these cases where these celebrities have just like snapped for a brief minute, like trying to grab a camera, and then they get the assault charge.
That's why it is okay to do it, Nikki.
Well, so you know,
because nothing happens to the people who all up in their face until some start happening to the people who are invading their personal space. Then it's always going to be okay for them to do it.
Who was the singer? I want to say Kiki White, but I could be totally wrong. It was somebody recently, like last week, just came out of the news where she had told a fan she didn't want to take a picture.
Kiki, it wasn't Kiki White. It was
Kiki Palmer.
Palmer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember which one it was. I knew it was a Kiki. I thought it was one of them. And she said no. And I don't know what happened past that, but she was like, no means no. It doesn't just have to be for sex. Like, consent is not just for sex. Like, I said no. Like, why can't I just say no? And don't get me started on other shit, but like, you can't defend yourself. Like, and why can I not defend myself? I'm just required to take your shit. Like, so I wondered if Mike was worried simply because, oh shit, court of public opinions. But then at the same time, I don't think anybody could watch that video and not feel like his response was kind of justified, considering dude just kept pestering him. Like, he literally came and got what he came for.
Yeah.
But that you could be on the other end of cancel culture for defending yourself.
He gonna get paid.
And the fact I'm on an airplane, it's tight. I can't get away.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and you're behind me. Not only
Literally.
that, you're behind me. So it is a threat on all kind of type of levels there. And Mike is a trained professional boxer.
Right.
What do you think was going to happen, man? Like, and then you look at the baby and his situation with, they showed the video of the altercation where he killed a man at Walmart because of they were nagging him.
Yeah.
And it became a scuffle, which I'm not saying it was right or wrong because I don't know the whole story. But people got to respect people's personal space. I don't like nobody in my personal space. So I can imagine for a celebrity, that has to be a terrible anxiety that you have to get from that.
Every day, every time you walk out the house, you have somebody in your space. And it's like, even as a fan, I'm a fan of lots of musicians, tons of musicians. I've been grateful to be able to see many of the musicians and comedians and people that like I am a fan of. But I don't ever want to be the fan who's all in your face. Like if I haven't purchased a VIP ticket, I'm not expecting to get no damn VIP. I'm gonna be glad that I contributed to your pockets by purchasing this ticket for the show or whatever, but I'm not gonna be chasing down your tour bus and like waiting by the one little door over here. Maybe we can slide on it. And everybody does their things differently. I get it, but like respect people's fucking space, man. Like, and I just don't see why people think that because people get famous, they've forgiven their personal space. Like, no, they haven't. No, they have not. But the paparazzi thing really bothers me because I've just seen so many celebrities lose their shit on paparazzi, and then the celebrity themselves gets in trouble for assault or some shit. And it's like, what about this fool that is just constantly, like I said, when we talked about the Kanye thing, you keep poking a bear's going to do what a bear's supposed to do. I'm going to get you. It's crazy to me.
I thought it was going to change after Diana died. After Diana died, I thought it was going to change with the paparazzi, and clearly they gave him license to continue.
Yeah.
So
no repercussions whatsoever. What's up, Stokely? Welcome to the show. Glad you joined us tonight. You got any pet peeves? What are your pet peeves? We're talking about pet peeves right now.
Oh, you guys, I was listening. So, but back in 2000 or 2009, I think it was, talking about people invading people's space, and everybody saw the Mike Tyson video and all that stuff. In 2009, I was on the world tour, and we were in Glasgow, Ireland. It was Lady Gaga's first world tour ever, and I was at dinner. Neo actually was opening up for her in Europe, and we were at dinner with one of Neo's dancers and him, and people in Glasgow, Ireland, who knew who Neo was. I mean, it wasn't just one or two people. And he had asked, but asked people to, we're at dinner. And he just had to go off. And when I tell you Neo doesn't talk much, he said on a year tour, he probably said 30 words to me. And I was working the tour. But that night, he fired off on people because he was just fed up with it, and I understand that. So the dude that got busted in the head by Mike Tyson on the plane, and now he wants to sue, or he's getting an attorney and all this other foolishness. You get what you deserve, People, when people tell you not now, leave me alone, I'm good, leave me alone, respect people's space and time, So that's just the way I look at it. And thank God I'm not anybody famous or anything, but imagine like Michael Jordan, he can't go anywhere in the world without people bothering him. Tiger Woods, those type of cats, it's just a different life. And it's gotta suck.
It has to
suck. Them NBA players, because they tall, they stick out like a sore.
Right.
They put a hoodie on and hide. There's somebody they could tell by the way you walk and how tall you are that you somebody.
I tell you all the time, I lived in Vermont. And Nikki, no offense here, Nikki, I was the only brother up in there, and white folks thought I was somebody. So they always wanted to know who I was and what I did and, you know, what song did I sing. And then I was like, no,
oh, damn it.
you know? But yeah, I couldn't even get my own personal space in Vermont.
God,
So,
it's crazy to me.
yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, people just need to learn. Respect.
I wish there was a way
space.
I wish there was a way that drunk people could be taught how to be better drunk people. Because sometimes drunk people really get on my nerves. Like I like
Don't get me wrong.
A couple weeks ago, me and my girlfriend, we were out, and it's not uncommon at all for me to be one of the only, if not very few, like white people in social settings when we generally go out, right? And so I was one of the only white people in this particular spot that we were at, and it's fine. Like, you know, I know a slew of people in there, so we chilling, having a great fucking time, just me and my girl at our table, just literally in our zone, having a good time. And this other couple comes in, this interracial couple comes in, and they sit right next to us. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it's all good. Everyone's gonna have a good time, right? And the fucking girl, like, she was so drunk, and I didn't know this until she engaged in conversation with me to touch all over my fucking hair. And if you know me, you know I hate when people touch my hair. So I understand, like, especially when Black women are like, don't touch my fucking hair. Like, don't touch somebody's hair. I get that. And so my girl was like, maybe because, like, you're the only other white person in here, she felt like she could touch your hair, or like, maybe, I don't know. But I was so bothered because when I stood up and she then stood up and she just like hugs me and she's like, your hair is so beautiful. Can I touch your hair? But as she's saying it, she's touching it. And this is where I'm picking up in her slurred speech, how drunk and fucking obnoxious she is. And all I wanted to do was tell her dude who was missing from the table, get her out of here. She needs to go. Get her out. And so
somebody will slap her.
Somebody's gonna slap her. So as we left,
that's a pet peeve to me.
Say that again?
The dude can clearly see your girl totally out of control.
I don't know.
Y'all need to call it a night. Just get up out of there.
Why? And this is like still early in the night.
I've seen this several times, especially at I've seen this a couple times at weddings. And it's so funny because especially, well, you know what? I don't know if it's strict to white people, but I was at a white wedding. I'll tell you that. And listen, it's funny and hilarious because when white people be on it, and they in a comfortable environment, oh man, you gonna see and hear everything. You talk about wild. Ain't no party like a white people party when they in closed company. Oh man, it's hilarious. And them, oh my God, some of them women just be. Anyway, let me not get off point. Yeah, so
it was too much. He should have taken her out.
Saying some stuff just all over the place, and the guy's like, "All right, you know, Kathy, just okay. No, take her ass home.
Take her home. Take her out.
She's out of there, and she is saying a bunch of crazy stuff, some semi-offensive stuff,
right?
Even though, you know, I don't get easily offended, but somebody else could easily take certain things a different way. And you're just all over the place. And especially when you're at a wedding and then all of a sudden you become the center. You're not supposed to be the center of attention at somebody else's wedding.
Right.
That means that you're out of there.
You're out of bounds.
The guy who's with them, the husband or the man or whatever, the fact that you don't identify the situation and make or you don't have the ability to make an executive decision, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, I'm looking at you like, man, you weak as hell.
Yeah, get him out. But it's the same thing as the touchy-feely drunk. Like oftentimes women will get, you know, because I don't really see it happen with men a whole lot, but women will get drunk and they're just fucking touchy-feely and just touch.
Look at boobs.
Go, bitch.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. That's
crazy. Oh my God,
keep your hands to yourself. I'm not here for that shit. Not at all. There's this one chick here, and if she listens, I'm talking about you, bitch, but there's this one chick here.
Oh,
sorry.
You know who you ask.
And I don't get fucked up like that. When I go out socially, I don't get fucked up. Like I don't. Like, and alcohol isn't even my shit. Like, I'll sip a little bit here and there, but like I don't get fucked up. And I do like to be in control of me 100% and be aware of my surroundings at all times. So I don't get fucked up like that. Like I just don't. And this girl stay on it. Like, and that's fine, right? Like everybody can do what they want. But one of the last times that me and the girls went out, she bum rushed me and she's like, you know I want to fuck you, right? And I'm like,
yeah, that coming out alcohol bring it up out of
figure out at what part have I ever in my whole life made you feel as though one, that's reciprocal, or two, that I'm interested in you or women, or three, that's some fly ass shit. Like just because you're another woman does not make that acceptable to me. Like it is no any less bothersome to me than if it was a dude who, you know, I want to fuck you, right? I'm like, that's not cute to me. But she be faded, of course, when you know this happens. And so like I eventually get to a place where like I don't like to deal with drunk ass people, especially women.
It's fun.
Oh no, it is not fun. That is a pet peeve.
That's
a pet peeve.
My only reason for not getting drunk is so I can sit back and appreciate all the drunk people and really take in how crazy they acting. Because if I'm too drunk, then I don't notice how drunk they are. But I just like to be just buzzed enough so I can sit back and laugh at all the
that's why I don't drink much. I just observe folk, and I'm that guy. I'm like, did that motherfucker just really say that shit? Social unawareness and people that don't pick up on social cues.
That's me if I'm sitting
funny.
watching them. I can't handle it if I'm at the bar and dealing with it.
So quick side note. Go ahead, Trish.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Just quick side note. I was watching that baby video. Don't look like no self-defense to me. That wasn't no self-defense. I don't know. He must pay somebody a lot of money because that wasn't no self-defense at all.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah, the video release, it looked a little different, a little sketchy. But good lawyer and money can go a long way.
Yeah.
Well, they said that he's already had like 3 incidences like this month in like the last 30 days. So he just like, you know, fucking sucker punched his artist. And then he shot somebody on his property, which again, you have the right to do that, you know. And in Florida, you got the goddamn governor of Florida saying, just go ahead to shoot intruders and save the taxpayers' money. Did y'all see that?
Yes.
I saw that.
No, but maybe
it was the mayor.
DeSantis is wild.
Maybe and let me correct that. Maybe it wasn't the governor. Maybe it was like a mayor of a city because I don't think it was DeSantis. I don't think it was DeSantis. But or maybe it was the sheriff. I don't know. I'm fucking this all up. I posted it on Facebook. Freethinkers, go to that page and look. But he was like, just go ahead and shoot him, save the taxpayers' dollars. And it was like, I mean, yes, in theory, yes, but holy shit.
But see, that's the thing. When folk in Florida's crazy anyway. I don't give a damn what anything.
Period.
Everything that happens in Florida is because Florida's led by some fucked up people, and fucked up people that lead other fucked up people are people just crazy.
Right.
So yeah.
I think I'm gonna head out, guys. My internet is just my internet. You guys have caught on with that by now. But it's good seeing you all.
Good night.
Trish.
Okay, good night.
It's okay.
See you later, Trish. Yeah, but people in Florida are absolutely crazy, you know. So
I agree. What about? I was thinking, people who stop at the yellow light, because I saw Damona had mentioned people who fucking don't use a blinker.
You're like, I was about to run that right behind you. What you stop?
Right.
I was right on your butt.
And I always say that's why I got this. That's why I got this fast ass car shit so I can make them bitches get through the yellow lights.
You're supposed to speed up through the yellow light, but you ain't got to stop at the yellow light. Like shit. I
see motherfuckers slam on their brakes at the yellow light. I'm like, are you out your damn mind?
People are horrible drivers, period, I think.
I would say Illinois is one of the, from what I've seen compared to Georgia, Illinois really, I mean, we had driver's ed in school. You had to pass it as a course. Where Georgia, you just take a class at a random driving school. And I see that is in Tennessee as well. And I'm like, so you can just get any old schmo off the street and they can take a couple hours and they got a driver, they they get the driver's license. Well, we had to take a full semester.
Right. Damn. Yeah.
Pass the class, then go to the driver's ed DMV
To do the driving test
there, and then have to pass with the instructor. So
wow.
I feel like it's a lot of people are missing the real rules of the road, and I feel like everybody shouldn't have a car. Everybody should have a vehicle. Everybody should have kids. And
Agree.
we need like, because my thing is like, dang, like, why are we not testing people at a certain age point? Even when you get too old, you might need to get retested. Especially in Florida, they have accidents with older people. So I'm like,
well, Texas does
that.
Texas, I think Texas at 69. Once you turn 69, I think you are now required to go into DPS to renew your driver's license. So you can't do it by mail. And I think at a certain age, you do have to have a valid eye test done. I want to say 69 or 72, but quite a few years ago, Texas implemented some laws like that. But like, we're kind of like you, like we didn't have to go to the driver's school or whatever, but like that was an option. Because you could, I think, just wait until you were 18 and just go take the test. And so a lot of people did, because driving school was like $300, $400 or some shit. And I went through driving school, but then somewhere after I got my driver's license, and by the time my daughter was going to take her driver's license, it then became parent taught. And I'm like, no, I'm going to send her to the people who that's what they do. Like, no.
Blind leading the blind. People terrible drivers teaching terrible drivers.
So you got these ragged ass parents who lying on their shit, putting her 30 hours down. You ain't took them around the block. Don't know how to parallel park, can't back into a spot.
Right.
No, but now I think once you turn 8, I think the law still is you can get a driver's license when you're 18 and you like waive all of the educational requirements. You just have to pass like their little computerized test, and then the driving test.
That's in Texas though, right? Because I know we get like driving schools all over this place.
Yeah.
That's retarded to me. Like, they should put it as part of the education. The education system sucks anyways, but I think a lot of those courses should be taught, like home economics need to be taught, driver's ed, finance, life skills, organization, and time management. And simple things like that I get we got to take trigonometry or whatever the hell why we got to take it, but most people ain't going to college.
You can't use the R word anymore, Tierra. You have to say that's mentally challenged to me. You can't use the R word.
Be politically correct.
I have
opinions. That's another thing that irks me. Politically correct.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that is. And on the side note to that, this is what irritates me. You put a post, Nikki. That ain't what irritates me.
I was like, oh hell, what I say?
No, the 90 Day Fiance fans are calling out the blackfish.
Oh, the blackfish.
I don't like when people, as a free thinker, let me say it like this. As a free thinker, I don't like when people try to make everything racial all the time. I don't like that. I don't think everything is... Some things is just preference. Everything don't have to be cultural appropriation. Even if it is it a racial thing or it maybe it's an admiration thing? But that's been going on since the beginning of time. And just like, she tanned her skin. I don't know. She probably want to give her another look. But bodybuilders have been doing that for decades. Women wear heels because they want to be taller. People wear a certain type of underwear because they want their butt to look a certain way. They wear girdles because they want their stomach to be smaller. You wear makeup because you don't want the blemishes to be shown on your skin. And some even black women wear makeup because they want to lighten their skin up. I mean, people have been they wear different color contacts because they want their eyes to be a different color.
Quick, I'm going to get you on this one.
Do that mean that, let me ask you that, does that mean that a black girl who decides to get blonde extensions and she want to get blue contacts, does that mean she want to be white?
No, because Aborigines in Australia tend to have blonde hair.
So you think they're trying to be Aboriginal when they get blonde extensions?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But the reason why it becomes an issue is not that the fact that white women can wear their hair in cornrows, or white women can be, put the tanning, self tanner on. It's that Black women get racially profiled if it's us. So if we could all just, wear our hair in cornrows and not get, where girls in high school and junior high are sent home because they have braids and dreads. People have dreads, not get jobs. I'm okay with any color wearing dreads or whatever we think that is particular to our ethnicity. But the problem is that we get racially profiled for it. And a lot of times we're not afforded jobs. That's why they have the Crown Act. Our skin is not popular in beauty and not highlighted in beauty the way that it has been when
that's what they say.
For European standards.
No, I'm just saying, as far as the media is
I know what you're saying. I'm saying white America, Western civilization says it's not attractive.
Right. Yeah, we know it's attractive because if Kim Kardashian wants a big butt, I'm not saying that's particular to us, but I'm just saying it became popular because she had an ass. Right. But we know plenty of Tamikas and Felicia's had ass before, and it was looked upon as disgusting. So I don't have a problem with anybody doing any of that. I just don't want people to criticize us, scrutinize us, keep us from doing and having things because of those things, those same things.
Yes, but Tiara, this is not a post about Black women. This is a post about this white girl who used some skin tanning, and now they're coming at her because of how she's done that. So
yeah, she also put in a wig or a weave that made her look as though she had a Black woman's hair. She came off as looking like she was mixed.
It don't matter. It don't matter, Nikki. According to Tiara's argument, what the girl do is not the issue. It's the way that Black women are treated in the same type of manner when we're doing our natural thing versus when they're doing that. I get that part, but what I'm saying is, why is this white girl being attacked? Because she trying to change it up. That's an issue that we should have with with white men, with the media, with our own culture for not promoting ourselves the same way.
Well,
really, she's the last person that we need to be coming at today.
I think what we first need to understand is where we live and how we've been living. So the appropriation part of it, I can get beyond for a moment, for a second, and say this: it doesn't matter what we do as Black people, we're going to be criticized for doing it, period, through the way that Western civilization views us. We've been doing this for years and years and years. There ain't shit that I can do to change my skin color, but I'm looked at in a certain light, in a certain way. Now, if I had a mohawk and Vans on, people would say, oh, and talk like a white guy, then they would say, oh, he's trying to be white. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways, but white people don't ever suffer really the consequences that Black people, like Tiara said, I mean, we don't get jobs because we have an afro. That's the way our damn hair grows out our heads.
Literally.
You're still making my point, Stokely. So think
I understand what you're saying. Why are we attacking her? Why are we attacking the girl that has the weave and the dark makeup on? I get what you're saying, but I'm saying Tiara made a good point also. We've been doing this shit for years, and now when she does it, she gets the negative attention, but yet she's getting attention for it. I don't.
And then I want to add to that, Quentin, because I want to say this.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we don't get an acknowledgement to where we get this culture from. Right. So a lot of the white population will steal culture and have been stolen culture, and we have watched them steal culture, and we never got acknowledged for it. So I think it's more of a lesson or a history or understanding or compassion when it comes to doing that, because you need to have some kind of awareness. Like,
as a free thinker, we keep reaching for low-hanging fruit. That girl right there is low-hanging fruit. if you want to attack somebody, attack the power structure, attack the laws that can even say that you have to wear your hair a certain way. Go boycott H&M and all these other places who put these things in place. Go after, reach out to your representatives, reach out to the media. Do the stuff that normal people do whenever, but I'm saying attack the root and stop reaching for the low-hanging fruit. She's low-hanging fruit.
Okay. I'll say this. We can attack the system of racism, the structure of racism through the Constitution and its jury and body. But that don't mean we ignore and don't educate everyone.
Right.
We can still educate her. It doesn't mean we have to, slam her, demean her, maybe just more of an educational lesson to say, hey, I'm not sure as the why you are trying to pursue this route, because I believe it's beautiful, on any skin, how we perceive it. But I just want to let you know that we get demoralized for being what you're trying to
be. Exactly.
To be.
Right.
And so I don't think it's not us saying we can do both. We can still attack racism at the core and still educate others. And so they can have awareness, because a lot of times people aren't aware. Let's be real. A lot of times white people do not understand racism because they don't live it. Right. You know what I mean? It's a whole different world for them. I get it. I don't live rich. So I don't know
only racist because racism exists. If it didn't exist, then it wouldn't be. Just that's why I use the example. You could decide to get blonde extensions and get blue contacts tomorrow, but that's not going to say that you against your people or you reverse racist or this. It only exists because it's a thing. If it wasn't a thing, then it's just fashion preference. And that's what I'm saying. Don't make it more than what it is. And it's only something because it is. It's just because of the way that we've been treated.
It's because that's what we know. We live here.
Stolen.
Q, we live here, and that's what we know. Now we all have common sense, and we all know. We know right from wrong, but the society in which we live in, when it comes to this, is why race is so. To have a conversation about race, if I were to sit down with 10 white people, all four of us sit down with 10 white people and have a conversation about race, we would get almost nowhere because white people ain't trying to hear it. Every time you turn on the TV, you've got a commercial that comes on. They playing a black song or the beat to a black song. Target's notorious for it. Every time you open a magazine, you've got the same thing. These are things that we're talking about. And I understand you're talking about the low-hanging fruit. That is low-hanging fruit. But you've got to start somewhere where these motherfuckers halfway understand.
No, start with the record companies who notoriously don't allow us to own our own music that we create.
I get it. We're talking about a nation. You're talking about go to the root. I believe everything. There's a root to everything. So we can't even get these motherfuckers to understand what the fuck CRT is. So they don't even want to talk about that. That's the root. We can start there and then work our way up. So we can have the conversation.
And also, Stokely, we may not change the hearts and minds of everybody, but if we change one, that is the seed we plant. Yeah. And then much of the civil rights movement, a lot of the young white people were able to converse and talk and speak about experience. We didn't attack we attacked the institutional with friends and like. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just black people; it was white people, and they had to know. And because we can't do it by ourselves, we can't tackle institutional racism as black people by ourselves.
The only people that can end it is white people. So education is required.
We need to educate.
It's necessary. Yes.
But this is the problem. When we get outraged about this girl right here, we ain't educating nobody. And honestly, what you're doing is misdirecting. So the people who come up after you, they're going to be misdirected, and they're going to keep following whoever's in the limelight and whoever's on this TV show and that TV show. And in the meanwhile, the people who doing the puppet master in the background, they never get pointed out. That's why I said even stop focusing on the rappers. Who's the companies who's funding them? Who's paying the rappers them checks? Who's the one giving them these shows? Those are the people that you need to attack, because they're the one, whether it's Sony or Def Jam and all these companies who say you got to push this certain type of music for us to release your album. Go after those people, boycott them. We're misdirected when we attack the result of a thing versus the root of it. And we've been doing that for a long time.
Always had power in the people. The power of the people is what moved and changed things. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a coalition and understanding to go after those people.
The coalition has to know where they need to direct their energy.
Go after the record companies. But if we're not educating the people that is being victimized and being strategized to send out there to target this vulnerable community, which is Black people, then how are we supposed to get our message? White people carry a lot of water for white people. I think it's time some white people can carry some water for us. And it's okay to get some people that that's the other part we miss. As long as you and your feelings, I ain't saying you, I'm talking about Black people in general. As long as you and your number one, it's whenever you can easily, I ain't talking about you again, I'm talking about Black people. When they're in an outrage, and they triggered by something like this, you can be easily controlled and manipulated when somebody knows you. That's one of the first rules, especially as don't let nobody know your triggers. Once somebody know your triggers, then they know how to get you every single time. And I pay attention to the media, do this often. And every now and then, every other day, then they put something on there that got this racial undertone to it to get people in an uproar, and they just want to see. What was the one about the Black boyfriend and the white girl, and she got off, the guy ended up dead, and she got. You talking about down in Miami or something like that, Florida, where she stabbed him?
Something like that. I don't know. Did she stab him or somebody?
Yeah, and killed him. This was recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
So did they find out that she did it?
I mean, from what I know, they know
she did it. They just haven't charged her for anything. They're trying to say that she was like insane and all this shit, but like she was just out partying like the very next night or the same night or some shit. Like she ain't been charged. I see where Clip's
going with this. He's like, don't be mad at the white girl for getting off. Be mad at the institution for letting her off.
Of course,
no, it ain't
mad
even
at the institution.
Number one, you don't know about neither one of these people. This is just be a crazy domestic dispute. But since it's a white and a Black girl, then they highlight. Do you know how many domestic disputes go on every day that leads in injury and or death?
Yeah,
right.
Like all the time. But people don't pay. But then when it's a Black man and a white girl, they gonna highlight this one because they know that this is gonna grab attention.
It makes news.
This is gonna pull emotional strings. This is gonna create a divide. They know this. That's why they're very strategic on what stories that they pull and put in the forefront. And I'm just saying, we keep falling for it. Like, God dang.
But we can still be critically aware that know that most Black women, if we stabbed our boyfriend, we're going to jail. We're not going to
go to a party the next fucking night.
That's
that baby video I just watched. The baby video, I'm not sure because what I just saw, I don't catch that one.
It's just crazy.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me how the rules. They can say these are the rules, and the rules be so different though. You know, the darker you get, the worse than rules. You know, and I go ahead.
I don't have a problem with anybody tanning, because look, you want to look the way you should be who you want to be, look how you want to look. That as long as it ain't bothering me, I'm good. But culturally, historically, I think it is good to have conversation and education around things that a lot of people dismiss and never received any of this type of historical context, because a lot of times we do things and, you know, like my son might do something and he has no idea that it, like, dude, do you know what you're doing? You're making offense to a Jewish joke or something. That's not right. Let me tell you why. Because a lot of people don't get that history. And so it's up to us to be people that still give those lessons, even though we have progressed beyond certain things that we have, you know, dealt with in the past.
So is it Sierra, is it our responsibility to get offended every time something like this happens?
It's not our responsibility to get offended. I mean, everybody's not going to get offended by it.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying that's my pet peeve, because that's also, and again, I preface this, me as a free thinker, I think it's a cheap way out to go the racial route all the time. And in certain cases, and then even on a side note, because even our mom was like, she blackface. This ain't she not in blackface. It's two totally different things. She not. You know what?
An African American history teacher told me a long time ago. She was real. I'm talking about. She used to tell us, don't get mad at black athletes for dating white women. What the hell did you think they were going to date? And they're going to Wisconsin college. She said there's only white women there. So what did you think he was going to date? It was like something like to the level of stop being upset.
They ain't all going to school in Wisconsin.
I get it, Quinn. You know what?
But it's a great example, though.
She's trying to say that if you're in a majority white world around, you're going to date what you have. And so she also said that every time the white people would say you're playing the race card, you just tell them you gave it to us, so we're going to use it.
Who keeps putting that motherfucker back in the deck? That's who I need to know. That's what I need to know.
You started it, and we're going to fucking use it. And I thought that was so funny, because I was like, yeah, we didn't ask for it. You gave it to us. Now we're going to use it to our whenever we feel like it.
But you have some substance behind it. Just trying to look like us. That's weak. That's a pet peeve of mine. That's weak. Oh, you just want to be us. You trying to be us. Everybody want to be a nigga. Don't nobody want to be a nigga. That's weak. It's weak. That's my pet peeve. It's weak.
But it's not a lie though either.
That's the thing is.
So what? I want to be tall. Who cares? I wear the Timbs because it gives me an extra inch.
But ain't nobody crucifying you because you're tall or you're short. Like literally putting you in chains.
But what the world does, how they treat you, you cannot take it out on the everyday person who's actually in a form admiring you. It is. But see, I don't know that I need that admiration like that. I think, like I said, the thing that I want is equality across the board for everybody. Like Tara said, I don't care what you do, but the shit that you don't do, when you see shit is wrong, defend it, stand up against it, speak out against it, say something. Is it wrong? Is it wrong?
See,
I'm just saying, Eminem rapping, is it wrong? Is it wrong for him to rap?
No.
Is it wrong for her?
Eminem,
she pandered again. Is that wrong?
No, but I'm not saying that's. I'm saying you said, Q. You said,
go ahead.
That's low hanging fruit. I get what you're saying when you say that is low hanging fruit, but Tiara also said you have to take the time to educate the motherfuckers that look at that as something more than it is. And the thing about it is, historically, we've been the casualties of those types of things. White people. I'm going to say this. White people teach their kids how to react to certain things that black people do and say. That's how this has all been perpetuated throughout the years. So,
and not only that,
taking the time to educate.
They own the books. They own our history. Yeah. And
so you got to educate where you can educate them.
Keep on here, because we are going to talk about Elon Musk for a minute.
We're still going to talk about that. All right.
No, but that point is something I want to talk about when we talk about Elon Musk. Is just the control of who owns who, what, when, where, and why, and the information that gets disseminated.
We 10 minutes past. You want to go into that right now?
Yeah. Yep. Please we'll go till 10. We'll go till 10 because I do want to talk about Elon Musk, because I do appreciate you guys for tapping into this conversation, because so a lot of the feedback that I keep seeing is people say, well, I don't care because I don't have a Twitter account anyways. And that's fine. You can be an impartial person if that's what you choose to do. I hate fucking fence sitters. I really do. But those are also people who are like, well, you don't have anything to worry about if you're not doing anything wrong. The police pull you over and you should just fucking put your hands on the wheel. Same fucking people, right? So everybody doesn't have an opinion one way or another about this whole Elon Musk buying Twitter, but I definitely do. And so I appreciate you guys for, knowing what the topic is and being willing to have this conversation, because I think it is important that we kind of get out our thoughts on this, with other people. So just right off bat, what was y'all's first instinct when you saw the deal? Because I've been posting about it on Facebook or on Freethinkers, and nobody had really said anything. And I'm like, why is somebody fucking watching this? So I'm like, this is a big deal.
I watched it, one, because I was banned from Twitter for years.
You were?
I don't even remember what the hell I said.
That's right. You did.
For years, I was banned. I mean, I try to make fake accounts and use other phones. They, for some reason, had a way to just...
Baby, Facebook done did me like that.
So, honestly, I think we are jumping to conclusions on what his direction is. What if his direction is to make a level playing field where no one's a celebrity, that has only blue check marks, that the algorithms is fair? Because we have seen social media change from what it usually, or of its conception of what it looked like. And that was because it was controlled by Wall Street. And he's taking ownership back. I'm not saying that he may be the master villain that everybody describes, but I said I want to give people a chance. And so initially I was like, yo, Elon, his background, he's a little, eccentric. Mm-hmm. Who knows what this is going to lead to? He's just going to allow for everybody to say whatever they want to say. But isn't that what we're supposed to have? Free speech to a certain degree?
Yes, but there's always like the back door to that, though. Like, what is that back door? Who is that back door letting in? And I don't have a lot of history on Elon Musk in terms of other things that he's done that like maybe some people have an issue with. But I did spend the last couple of days just kind of learning a little bit more about some of the stuff that he's done. And he's got a pattern of flexing his power and his money. Mm-hmm. He tried to there was somebody, what was it? It was in China, it was in Beijing. I wrote this shit down. Let's see, there was a guy, where was it at? There's just countless incidences. Like there was a guy who was questioning Tesla stock. He basically contacted this man's employers essentially and was like, you need to fire him. Because he questioned Tesla stock, because he wrote pieces in paper about Tesla stock. There was a factory worker somewhere who had complained about warehouse conditions, Tesla warehouse conditions, and he tried to sue him for $167 million fucking dollars to shut this factory worker up from talking about things that were going on at Tesla. And I guess in some situations you have clauses, where NDAs and shit like that, where you can't share certain information. I get that. But $167 million to sue somebody to shut them up. The thing with China, I don't remember what the fuck the deal was. Oh, it was China, or no, somebody was posting articles about the faulty brakes on Tesla. There was I think it was 2017 or 2019. There was some faulty brake issues and fires catching or whatever. Like somebody had been posting about this. Elon wanted to shut that person down and basically talk to the Chinese authoritarian government. It was like, I need y'all to exercise your power and shut that shit down. Do not let this person post on this. So, I mean, not to say that he may not be able to do something good with that, but I just don't feel that. Everything about this feels nefarious to me. And maybe that's because I also do not like or support AI technology, the robotic, industry that we're about to come into. I feel like he is a big part of him, Gates, Bezos, Fauci. I think for me that they're all a part of the bigger picture of really ending the last era of human civilization. You know, he's wanting to, you know, give everybody a Rosie from Jetsons. And I mean, like, how great and convenient does it sound to have like a robot assistant in my house to like take the dog out for a walk and make me some coffee and wash the dishes and shit? Like, hell yeah, it's like a built-in maid. But it's like, every movie we've ever seen, this goes wrong. This doesn't turn out right for humans. Like, and this is so what he is about. You know, people are like, oh, well, you know, y'all right wingers are just mad. You know, y'all lefties are just mad. Like, y'all are mad because Trump's going to come back. I personally don't give a fuck if Trump goes back to Twitter. But my problem is, of course, what his energy emboldens the rest of his piss poor, you know, cesspool followers with, is these attitudes, these behaviors of supremacy. I looked at a list of like 21 celebrities who have been banned from Twitter. You had people on there like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Does she need to come back? You have people on there like George Zimmerman. Does he need to come back? You know, so I mean, now, of course, if you like these people, then, you know, of course you're going to say, yes, they need to come back. If you find these people offensive, then you're probably going to say, no, they don't need to come back. But I don't think this is about free speech. This is one man, the richest man, owning and controlling now, like at home with the fucking controller, the flow of information, what information is disseminated, what is suppressed. And I think it's really dangerous. And then his backers, I think he only put in, was like a $44 billion deal. I think that he only put in a couple billion of his own money, like 42 billion or something of that nature was from, you mentioned Wall Street, same fucking people. The same people are the ones who now own Twitter.
How Tesla was started was on government funding. That's how the whole thing started.
Yes.
And so when you're able to take government funding and become a billionaire, then become the richest man in the world on government funded money, and then you buy Twitter outright, $44 billion. There's something. I mean, come on. He's a smart guy, don't get me wrong. But are we really all that not smart, dumb? How does he monetize $44 billion? How does he monetize to make money back on Twitter? I don't know. Nobody knows what the plan is.
Right.
But it just bothers me that here he is. He's made his money off Tesla, off of government-funded money, to become the richest person in the world and pay no taxes, then buys Twitter and pays no taxes. And the same thing with Bezos. Why would Bezos and Amazon not have to pay taxes? They've got 8. Matter of fact, yesterday I was riding down the street, down the highway, and I know I saw 25 Amazon trucks on the road.
Easy.
That's tearing up the roads. So why would Amazon not have to pay taxes? I'm curious.
Leverage. Leverage.
Well, it was kind of a rhetorical question, but
we know.
Taxes, I'm taking 75% of my business overseas, and it's going to drastically affect the overall economy.
Yes.
All the people I employ and all the businesses I have, I do more for the economy to the point I don't want to pay taxes. I'm already doing enough for the economy.
It's just,
and that's the leverage. Michael Bill did that a long time ago. He got because he was primarily in Austin. He got up and moved to like North Carolina or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think they start trying to make him pay taxes. He's like, no, I'm leaving. I go to a state that won't make me pay taxes.
That's so
he was
crazy.
in California and he left California with Texas.
Leverage. And then you think about all the people who were being employed by Dell at the time in Austin. They probably would have took that back. It was making them more money for the economy by giving him those tax breaks than trying to get that extra tax money out of him. I ain't mad at him. Leverage.
I'm okay with tax breaks to a certain extent when you are bringing in jobs for a community. Like I'm okay with some of that to a certain extent as a business owner. Like, yeah, motherfucker, scratch my back. I'm finna hire, a quarter of your city.
I get that.
Give people jobs.
A tax break is one thing.
Right.
But when you don't pay any shit into the infrastructure.
But that's his argument is he pays personal taxes. And he said he pays more personal taxes than probably anybody. He paid $11 billion in personal taxes, I think, last year.
He made $980 billion What's
but he
11
does
million?
not have to pay
No.
any tax to
What?
Tesla. He only
with
has to
him.
pay
I'd be
personal
like, nope,
taxes,
I ain't
not
paying
Tesla
nothing.
taxes.
I get it. I
I
get
would
it.
absolutely use my leverage. Like, I ain't
Ooh,
paying.
wee.
So and they use the loopholes where they do have these corporations in other countries. There was like 7 countries that, basically all these fucking mega million trillionaires go and set up their what would have been shell corporations, but they're actual corporations now because they get the tax breaks by having their accounts essentially in another country, by having their warehouses in another country, by having their production lines in another country. And then they still have to fucking pay taxes here.
I just want them to put me on.
Billions of dollars
Right.
that come
That's
back
it.
into these communities, and they're skirting this money by being rich, wealthy, white men, because that's what they are. Like, so them owning Twitter to me is not about free speech. And I'm cool with free speech. I'm cool with you saying whatever. You can have free speech, but you're not free of consequence. Like and we are in cancel culture today. You will get canceled if you say some shit somebody doesn't like. But somebody like Alex Jones coming back to Twitter, I'm okay with that. I used to be an Alex Jones fan for a long time, but you can't pick and choose, because the fucking conservative people who say that they're all about freedom of speech are not. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're about suppression of anything.
I think if you employ any percentage, especially 3 to 5% of any city, you shouldn't have to pay no taxes.
Mm.
I mean, but if what you're doing is help, like, okay, so a lot of talk was around Eddie Long building up Lithonia, Georgia, and his church. So he wasn't taxed because of the church, but he literally built that whole area around there, like hotels, mall, restaurants. So he did have a way of giving back in his own way. Not that Elon is doing that, I don't know, but I do know that the tax code is the problem.
Right.
The tax code is the problem. It penalizes when you're poor, and it glorifies the rich. And I've been on the poor side, and I've been on where we've been taxed, like this year, literally, because of how much my fiance made. He was about to have to pay $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
I am screaming because he didn't pay that under Trump. He paid that under Biden. He was in the oil fields in Texas making a killing. Biden came in, shut all that down. So, that killed a lot of our income. So when I see people taking advantage, and getting the best way they can, I'm just like, look, teach me. Teach me. It's sad, but it is survival of the fittest out here in this world. Everybody is a dog world. It's all about, America is all about, self. We're not a communal. We're not like Asian countries and other countries that, are more about family and things. We're people that want to be to ourselves, and we don't want to be around other people, and our society's just fucked.
Agreed. I definitely agree.
In a nutshell, that's pretty much it.
I agree. And I think that as this deal goes on, I mean, obviously it's all going to be just a waiting game to see what actually happens with this when it's all said and done. But I just feel like I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's
Nikki,
not like
I'm
even
surprises you. Like, yo, like
of course it doesn't surprise me. This is a rich white man. He literally is the richest white man. You basically can do whatever you want.
What difference does it make? So
no,
in
I'm
all
saying,
of
what
these,
if he surprises you?
well, what I'm saying is all of these
think.
companies are owned by a rich white man. If you ain't the richest, then you the 5th richest or the 27th richest. Y'all all in the tens of billions of, tens to hundreds of billions of dollars. And they all, they all got that same type of mindset. So what makes him so different from the next uber billionaire who decides to buy a company instead?
Yeah. Bezos own Bezos owns a newspaper.
Amazon. Oh, yeah.
He owns a newspaper as well.
I think it's Washington Post, right?
Yes, Washington Post. Thank
Yeah.
you. I couldn't figure it out.
So when you have these rich, elitist white men owning your flow of information, your mouthpieces that give the information, the accuracy of the information, we all probably do our due diligence when it comes to, making an emotional decision against one thing or the other. But we know most people don't. That was on my list of pet peeves, is motherfuckers who don't research things before they speak on things, right? So a lot of people are just going to go with it because it's Elon. They're going to go with it because it's Bezos. They're going to go with it because it's Bill Gates. They're going to go with it because it's fucking Fauci. And we've just been shown over and over, time and time again, that those people really can't be trusted. They do not have our interest at heart. It is nobody but their interest at heart.
Rockefeller, J.P.
like
Morgan,
owning the
Carnegie. Shit. When has that not been the case?
Yep, they've been.
So, like you said, getting to the root.
They were literally buying presidents.
Getting to the root of the problem. Yeah, you're right.
Find a way. I'm going to tell you how you change the wealth disparities and so on and so forth. Find a way to tax assets. You have to tax assets with the wealthy. Wealthy don't live off the money they make today. They're living off money they made 25 years ago. Their families doing the same thing. You tax the assets that they have, the homes, the luxury, all the bullshit that they have. Then we can start to make a difference and they can start to see what it's like, because you have to be able to tax that type of shit. Right. Other than that, motherfucker that makes $100,000 a year and lives like he making 50, that's what most of America does. There's more poor people than there are rich people in this bitch.
Right.
And really, this is society really just repeating itself. If you think about the Carnegies and the major railroads back in the 1800s and how they were buying up every fucking thing, and Congress, had to put a stop to the monopolies. Look at Walmart.
Yeah,
it literally killed small business.
Part of the fucking problem. The Walton family, absolutely.
It's history repeating itself. It literally is, and until and I see glimpse of hope, Nikki, because I see people like the gentleman that went after Amazon and formed a union. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it has to get bad or worse before it gets better, and literally. He now has organized against Amazon, and now other people are taking suit, following suit.
Right.
This has not been done since the labor movement started in the early 1900s, when they had no type of restrictions on how they treated their employees. Right. It had to get bad, where in Chicago, a whole factory burned down with women and children for people to listen.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. This how if change is gonna come, this is how it's gonna come. Natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have to be a natural disaster, catastrophic, whether it's tsunami, earthquake, plague, land falling in. It's gonna be something huge enough that's going to break down the social structure, and it can easily happen. All you do, you let people, deprive them of electricity and food and basic needs, let all social structure break down to where your money and your job don't mean nothing. It's about survival. The rich rely on our conformity in order to operate and continue to make their money. Once government and structure breaks down, which is it's going to break down through course of active war, which leads to nuclear war, which that's a possibility, or it's going to be some type of natural disaster, going to break down a complete social structure. Money ain't going to mean nothing, and then you may see change.
Got to get worse before it get better.
But it's got to get catastrophically worse.
Yes.
Have you guys ever seen? Did y'all ever watch Designated Survivor? And I know I've mentioned this before on here.
I watched the first season. I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it. No.
That first episode blew my fucking mind, because I literally sat there watching it thinking, this is the only solution that we have, is to BLOW up the entire White House and everybody in it, get rid of all of them, both branches, everything, because they all died in the explosion. And then like the HUD director now becomes like the president, and he comes from a space of, huh? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, okay, let's fix things. You know what I mean?
Then that's a crapshoot too.
It is.
Because if he can be bought, then it's gonna start all over again.
Yep.
And I didn't finish watching the show, but that first episode
Let me get up to
blew
the top of
my
that bitch
mind.
so I can get paid too on the way. It's just, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Something catastrophic is going to happen to change.
Well, it's coming. I mean, you look at all these food processing plants. I've posted about this a couple times. There's been like 18 accidents this year of food processing plants that have caught fire or had like catastrophic things have taken place where they are no longer able to process or produce or ship out food. So like this food scarcity. Like, I mean, there's obviously already people who are very used to living in food deserts, but there's a lot of us that are not. We go to the grocery store 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a week and just pick out whatever we want all day long. We ain't never had to worry about where our food is coming from. Now, gonna have to worry about where our food is coming from.
Not only that, too, Nikki, we don't realize how much we barely escape all that stuff that I just said. We pretty close to it. Think about COVID. We got off pretty easy because COVID was roughly about 1% death rate. Out of 100 people catch it, about one person died out of every 100. Think about a lot of the plagues and stuff coming up where it was 50% of people who caught it died.
Right.
If something like that happened where it killed half of the people who caught it, there's nothing the government could do to get us to comply or listen. It'd be every man for themselves. You got your guns? I hope you do, because it's going to turn into the wild, wild west. The next time there's a pandemic and it ain't just one, we got off easy. Just 1%. People can be like, oh, well, my chances are good. It's a good chance. Most people gonna catch a cough. You're going to feel bad for a few days, but you're going to get over it. 1%. We can do 1%. Let it be something where it's 20 to 25 to 50%. You got a half and half.
Let it be 10%.
It don't even have to be that. It don't even have to be that high, Quentin. They said if it get to a certain percentage, I don't know if it was like 7 or 8%, it would cripple the economy completely.
Yeah.
And that's just the economy. I'm talking about the minds of people.
Yeah.
If you know I got a 50% chance of dying every time I catch something, I ain't listen to my boss. I ain't listen to the police. Employers. I ain't listen to no. It's every man for themselves. Absolutely.
It's going to change how people move.
Will break down.
And I feel like, and I hope that, you know, part of COVID has maybe imparted some of that on people, that this shit could happen. And, you know, the things that they put in the movies, the things that they put in the movies, these things are happening. Like, you know, I don't call it a pandemic for no reason. Like, all this shit is part of the plan. It just is. And now you've got the richest man with, you know, I don't think any
worrying about the richest man. They all the richest men up there.
But he is.
I just think like, you know what? I think they
right now.
Who he buying from?
You know what Jay-Z said?
Motherfucker got $44 billion now.
Jay-Z said to Dame Dash when he was like, "Yo, you know, you think you made me, then make another me.
Make another me. Yeah.
Make another Twitter." Like Jack Dorsey's paid.
Yeah.
If he want to go into a whole nother, if he want to revive MySpace, he can.
Bring that bitch back to life. Yep, he can.
Right.
I would love that back. I really love it.
Those were good old days.
Like
we were young. We didn't know shit.
Nobody had to go to MySpace jail.
We didn't know what to expect with Twitter and Facebook and all this old foolishness.
Yeah,
we didn't know how good we had it back in the
know.
Ain't that some shit?
Black Planet.
Black Planet. Holy smokes, boy. Let me see. I had a Navigator at that time. So I was Navigator 66 on blackplanet.com. Thought I was the shit. You hear me?
Navigator 66.
Log into their MySpace and see what happens.
Oh my God!
I tried a couple years ago. I don't know if it worked still. I can't remember. I don't think it didn't work. It was
That's
for a while.
funny.
It was like a ghost town there for about another 10 years after everybody left from there.
Like you
Wow.
really can't get much traction to create additional social media sites. And maybe that's us as consumers not bailing on the addictions that we have to the Twitter and to the Facebook and to the Instagram. But like a lot of people who have tried to create other alternative social media sites, this shit just don't last. It's not successful.
TikTok is.
Yeah, you got to start with them young kids. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You got to start with them young
True.
kids, and then old people
True.
TikTok is huge.
gravitate towards it.
To me,
You know,
I think more people use TikTok than on a regular basis. I mean, people are on Facebook for many reasons, but not necessarily for social purposes. TikTok is the wave.
I like
Like-
TikTok.
I don't know how
No,
that
no,
I
shit
no,
put
works.
I
no,
started
no,
a
never
TikTok
about that.
page because
I
I get
learned,
from
I
Facebook
learned.
jail.
Okay.
He's like, what else
Like
can I
you
do with my
bullshit.
time? Since
I
can't
did.
use
I got
Facebook,
kicked out of. I got
find
Facebook
something.
jail for 30 days, and I was like, I'm going to fucking TikTok. Maybe a TikTok. And Stacey posted something today about, or maybe it was yesterday, something about what makes TikTok the most dangerous of social media sites.
Yeah, that too.
And I saw bits and pieces about the live thing and like the people on it being like bullies, and there's no like
I don't
sexual
like that.
there's no
I
sexual
get tired.
content like warnings or something. I only got a first couple seconds of it, but I did want to go back
I
to
use
it.
the term bully, and then I'm like, you trying to use these trigger words. I get turned off by that.
Yeah.
Everything is bullying all of a sudden. I'm like, you just,
Well, but some people are, and you know, people hide behind that keyboard.
mm-mm. That's one of my pet peeves. We still talking about pet peeves. That's one of mine.
Trigger words.
Yes, you using the word bullying all the time where it don't fit. I don't like it. It really that really gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
Like extremely.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we 10 after, Nikki.
We are. Tara, did we lose you in there? Are you still there?
No, I'm trying to log into MySpace. I'm trying to log into. I really was trying to log into MySpace.
Who was it? Tom? Yeah, it was
Try
Tom,
Black
right?
Planet.
Yeah,
Try
MySpace
Black
was Tom.
Planet for me. I need to know about Black Planet.
I think you still can get on Black Planet, maybe.
Can you? I remember they used to have the little parties and the little slow music playing before we.
Oh my God.
What?
And it's funny that you mention that because in a lot of the threads I've read,
See my
people are
space
like,
up.
back
I
to
don't
Black
think my
Planet.
thing worked no more, but I don't even remember nothing. I can't tell you what my stuff is.
I can remember probably my
There is a
MySpace.
MySpace,
That's all I remember.
There's a MySpace.
Oh my God. All right, y'all got any news you want to share? Any information y'all want to share? Can we wrap this baby on it?
Nah, it's been a pleasure to be on here with y'all today. I love coming over and talking with y'all. You know, a lot of times I don't get a chance, but I mean, you know, I support it. So I'm just glad to be here. Great conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for coming tonight. It was good to see you.
Made me think about Tara Talk with all your intellectual
Man,
stuff.
I missed that.
Oh, man,
I missed that. It'd be so much I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
Go once a month. Go once a month.
Yeah. I'll think about that, Quentin.
Yeah.
Stokely, you got anything?
No, not really. I've just been busy as hell. I've been trying to make it the last few weeks, but you know, we trying to sell a house and do all of that stuff, and just haven't been able to make it. I'm tired. Look at I got to play golf tomorrow at 8:48.
Poor baby.
But he gonna get the golf in. He gonna get the golf in.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm
he
so
gonna miss
sleepy
that.
no, shoot, a few weeks ago, I woke up at 5 a.m. to make sure I was at the course at 6:47 tee time.
Oh my damn.
Yeah. So
I don't never need to golf that bad in my whole life.
Yes, you do. Once you do it, you'll love it. I'm telling you.
Peaceful. It's like fishing, right? Like fishing is peaceful. It's calm.
It is peaceful. You know.
I started. Me and my son, we play disc golf now. So
do you? I got a lot of friends that play. Actually, I haven't. I've never played. I've been to the course a couple times, but I've never played.
Yeah, we got a course right around the corner from our house over here in Wells Branch. So we ride our bikes down
in the
there.
neighborhood park?
No,
What's
not
the course
there.
like?
It's closer. Disc golf.
Okay.
Like frisbee
What's it
golf.
called?
Disc.
Fish golf?
Disc.
golf.
DISC.
It's like it's like these frisbee discs where you
She said beach golf. What you
Yeah.
said?
Goddamn, y'all on the lake? What the hell?
No,
Y'all
disc
doing?
golf. It's pretty
gotta-
fun too. It's pretty fun.
I got
Yeah.
a friend in Seattle
that
that
up.
plays a lot. He's in a lot of tournaments, and he's won money playing that mess. I'm like, okay, well,
Wow.
That's good.
It's tough. It ain't easy.
You have to let us know when y'all go out there. I'll pack up the boys and like that'd be cool.
We'll do that, yeah.
I've never ever played disc golf before. I don't even think they know what it is.
They got whole disc golf shops up here in Dallas. I don't know if they do in Austin or not, but
yeah.
Like you go there and buy different
It's Austin.
frisbee.
Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
You
So you got the driver disc, you got the mid range.
I didn't know that.
You got all.
I thought you used the same damn frisbee like you did when you was a kid.
Different.
Just keep throwing it.
And throw that bitch, and it glow in the dark and shit. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
thinking.
thinking.
Got different curve to it. Some of them got different distance to it. To where
I had no idea.
It's a thing.
Fucking disc golf.
Yep.
That's crazy. She said, "I'm looking this up."
Yeah.
You got anything?
No, I ain't got nothing.
No, but y'all can check out High IQ. It was a great conversation last night about unforgiveness and forgiveness.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good one.
That was I know that was a good conversation. And I think the week before that y'all did the relationship changes. That's a good conversation.
That's the one you was on. You was on.
Yeah, well, y'all did 2 weeks worth of relationship changes, I think. Yeah. That was a good conversation. So y'all make sure you go check out High IQ. That is definitely a completely different format than Freethinkers. I even gotta watch my mouth in the goddamn comments, boy. I'm like, shoot.
Your mouth is bad.
And then I saw Q and Ivory's mom and dad in the comments yesterday. I was like, I ain't saying shit at all. I was like, oh my god! But it is definitely a whole different type of conversation. But it's a dope ass show. So y'all check out High IQ. I don't got no news either. I don't have anything to share. Of course, Tiara, you didn't plug your Comfort and Light, but y'all make sure you follow Comfort and Light and get you some candles and sign up for some classes. And it's Mother's Day.
What is it? Say it again.
Comfortandlight.com is I do the hand pouring of candles, and I also
Okay, yeah, I saw something, but I didn't know what the name of it was, so that's good. I'll look it up.
Okay,
Comfort and Light.
I'll tag it on there.
Yeah, she's got some great scents on there. Some of the smells are, and everything is like 3 layered too. So it's like you got the first layer, and then you get the second layer, and you get the third layer. And I'm not even really a big candle person, but I absolutely admire what you're doing. And the smells are not just like lilacs and fucking lemons. You know what I'm saying? Like they're amazing crafted scents. And when you read what they are, like if you're already going to spend $50 at Bed Bath and Beyond and all that shit, no.
Yes, don't get some for your new space. I put it a post up on Freethinkers, but yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Are you doing any Mother's Day things? Are you doing any Mother's Day specials or Mother's Day candles or anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a special. I'm narrowing that down this week to see what I actually do. But yeah, I'll do something, and so
cool.
Definitely, you'll see that out pretty soon.
Follow the page. That's it. Follow us on YouTube. Share. If you got information that you want to share with the group, of course, drop it on Freethinkers any day. And we'll see you next Tuesday night. Y'all be good. Have a good night.
Be good.
Bye.
Night.